so much for coming, Michael. I know that I'm very excited to learn how you create these beautiful glowing effects in your paintings. Now, I know that you call your style luminous. Can you describe what that term means to you?
Well, it just means that there's almost like there's light from within. When you look at my paintings and they're well lit in a gallery, they seem to have a life of their own, like they're lit from behind.
Now, I know that you have worked with oils and even casing in the past. Can you describe what made you decide to try interactive?
Well, the casing helped me go a long way to actually get to move my paintings along faster, and I liked them. I got used to them. I won a couple of other contests and did quite well with them, but I still had to wait 3 days in order to paint over them again. I work on 20 to 30 paintings at a time, so I would have to wait till the first one would be dry by the time, 3 days later by the time I got back to it. So it was kind of a tedious way to do it. When I got my first set of interactive paints, I thought, well, I'll try this to see if this happens. And they were the perfect answer because I can dry them when I need to, and I can leave them open when I need to. So they solved a lot of my problems, meaning that I could actually work on one panel all the way through from beginning to end and stay focused and creative without having to put it aside. If I'm really inspired to keep working on it, I'd be frustrated because I'd have to put away the casings or oils because they're not dry yet. In order to work on them again, I'd have to wait until they're dry.
The colors that are here are dioxazine purple, cerulean blue, cobalt blue, titanium white, permanent sap green, cadmium yellow medium, cadmium orange, carbon black, and quinacridone magenta. Now, why do you pick these particular colors?
Well, I have a warm and a cool blue, and I have a warm and a cool red. And the cool red is the magenta, and then the warm red is the orange. And by mixing those two, they're both clean, vibrant, clean, transparent, well, not transparent, but vibrant colors that are so clean and pure that when I mix them together, I get this incredible red. I don't use it often in my landscapes, but when I need it, it's right there.
Now, I know that you also have a selection of mediums here. Some you use a little bit more than others, including the clear paint, the thick slow medium, the matte medium, and the binder medium. Now, I know you use this binder medium in a particular way. How do you use this?
I use it to seal a layer that I'm satisfied with, and I want to leave that layer, so I don't want it to interact anymore. What I paint over top of it won't interact with the painting, the layer that I've sealed. So I use it to seal the whole layer or certain parts of things, so I don't want it to interact anymore. So it's flexible enough so that I can leave places open to interact with it, and I can get all sorts of effects that way. But if I like something, I want to leave it there, and it's great for painting like incongruous colors over top of each other that normally would make mud. Well, this way I can glaze a nice beautiful color over top of another color where you usually get mud because they would interact. And oil, they would just turn to mud. But with the binder, I can just glaze over top and I can leave the layer underneath untouched. I like the thick slow medium to it. That's the one that's one of my favorites because it's actually like Mirage or Neomegalip. It's a beautiful, it's like painting in oils. It's just the paint just glides in it, so it's great for using liners, getting long, thin lines, and other effects. So it's one of my favorite mediums.
Super. And the matte medium, I know you sometimes use as well.
Yep. After I did the binder varnish, early in the painting, I'll want more tooth because I have a lot of tooth in my paintings because I don't want to put a lot of layers on there. So the binder medium tends to leave a glossy surface, and if I don't want that, right after it's dry, I just use a hairdryer, and in a matter of minutes, my layer is dry, the binder medium's dry in a matter of minutes, and then I can put this on, brush it over, knock that gloss down, and leave a little more tooth, and I can dry that in minutes too. So literally in 5 minutes, I can be ready to move on.
Great. Now, you came very prepared for today. I see you've got a surface, which you kind of did in a very unique way. You've got a study, you've got some photos. Do you want to describe, your whole prep period, everything from your surface to how you prepare before you do a larger painting?
Yeah, I'll have depending on where I'm going to start from, if it's from a photograph or from a plein air painting, I usually want to make sure that I have my plan already done. So I'll usually prepare the panel ahead of time. I go to several coats of I use MDF board or any kind of a board, and I put several coats of gesso in there. And into the dry gesso layer, I'll draw something either in pencil or in the ink or else just sketch it in the paint. But usually I'll draw it out in pencil if it's detailed, and I'll just sketch it out, and then I'll seal it with this red oxide finish. And usually the red oxide I always mix with a matte medium, and it's a transparent red oxide, so I water it way down, gets a nice warm tone to it. And then I'll mix that with it and put a little pumice gel in there. And that usually gives me just more tooth to it, so I can get several layers on the painting.
Now, do you find that this red, kind of counteracts or causes some weird things to happen because it's red while the greens?
It's a traditional medium that's used with lots of reverse glows. Mine's just a little warmer than usual, but I like it that way. Some of my students in my workshop, I'll paint two of the similar paintings side by side using the same blue sky, and then I'll ask them if they can tell after it's all finished, and they can always tell that this sky is more vibrant, warmer. It's just more inviting. You can definitely tell the difference.
So just by painting on a toned canvas?
Well, I paint in so many thin layers. Even when I don't, you can still tell. But I paint in thin layers, so it's almost like you're looking through several layers of stained glass window.
Then I'm going to get out of your way so you can get started painting.